Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence. Welcome to my channel, welcome one and all. So I've got another video for you. We're going to be sculpting, well, using tips. We're going to be creating the nails using acrylic and also some gel polish, and I'm going to be encapsulating the gel polish in acrylic, which is something you can do. It's perfectly fine, you can do it. And yeah, I just wanted to show you a different kind of design with gel polish that's encapsulated within the acrylic itself, so you're not, you know, necessarily having to paint on top, although I do a little bit. I'm so juvenile, sorry. I do I've got to think of another word. I do indeed paint on top of the nail using the gel polish as well as encapsulating. I'm so silly, I'm so sorry. Oh god, I easily entertain myself. I'm so sad. Anyway, so I'm showing you the bits and bobs that I'm using. Those little purple flowers and little green leaves, I actually picked those out of the garden and dried them, and yeah, I like to do things like that. I like to encapsulate things because we're going to do a milk bath nails with those little flowers and leaves and a bit of glitter as well. So first thing to do after I have prepared the nails and applied the tips is I apply a thin clear base of acrylic. Now when I say thin, I mean very, very thin. This is to protect the natural nail. It's got the best adhesion properties as it has no pigments added to it. It is the strongest of all the acrylics, and it gives you something to file back to when you go to redesign, so that you're not having to prep that natural nail over and over. So always apply a thin clear base. Then I am moving on to the design. So on the middle finger I'm doing a milk bath nail, so I used a bit of a milky white, just added that to the nail as just a very thin layer so that it's got a bit of a background, and then whilst that's still wet I'll apply some of the flowers, and if necessary I will apply a bit of clear acrylic to stick those flowers in place also, to hold them down kind of thing. So once I've added some of the flowers, I will also add a bit more of the milky white over places to give it that kind of milk bath effect. So I'm sort of layering up. Then I'll add some of the glitter wherever I think it should go. I'm trying not to overload this nail too much like I normally do, so I'm just being a bit more strategic about where I'm placing the little butterflies and where I'm placing the glitter. It's a really nice glitter mix. So yeah, I'm being a bit more strategic. I'm trying not to cover up the flowers too much, just adding a little bit of glitter here and there. And I'm picking the glitter up with just the tiniest amount of wet clear acrylic to adhere those bits and bobs in place. And then again in with the milky white over some places. I'm not trying to cover the glitter entirely. You'll see I'll sort of shift the milky white around so that some of it is covered and some of it isn't. That's the way you get the milk bath effect. Now on to the index finger, I'm going to be doing a colour block design with gel polish, and as you can see it's a bit of a bumpy surface because I've only added the thin clear base. I've not, you know, smoothed out the surface in any way, but that's not a problem. Just paint over it anyway. It's no big deal. So yeah, I'm just going to, I used the brush from the bottle first of all to get the general shape that I was going for, and then to neaten it up, tidy it up, I'll use a detailer brush. So just a thin layer of that gel polish. I will put a second layer on. Onto the ring finger, I'm doing a full nail of that. It's like a cornflower blue. It's really, really beautiful bluey purple. What's the other word for it? There's another name for that colour of blue. Oh, I can't think of it. It will come to me at some point and I'll remember it. But yeah, it's a really pretty sort of on the border of purple blue. Really nice colour. So I'm going to do a full nail of that, and using my detailer brush I did the cuticle area to get that nice and neat. And then on the little finger I am using the rose gold, and I'm going to do a full nail of the rose gold on that finger, and again just using my detailer brush to go around that cuticle area to get it nice and neat. Whatever I can't manage with just the brush from the bottle, use your tools. You've got tools. Sometimes you can get it good with just the brush from the bottle and you don't need to use a detailer, but if you need to use a detailer brush, it's not a problem. Go ahead and do it. I'm sorry if I sound a bit stuffed up. My nose is a bit bunged up today. I don't know what's going on. I think it's my allergies. I didn't take any antihistamines this morning. It's probably why. Not the cleverest of things when you've got allergies. Anyway, on to the back to the index finger. I'm going to do the rose gold in the space that's left. So I've got a sort of semicircle going there. I gave that a full cure, so now I can add my second layer of the cornflower blue. I can't remember what it was called. Was it called? Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, what colour it was called. It was in the beginning of the video. Anyway, use the blue and put my second layer on. So I'm going to be neat around that colour block using my detailer brush just to get that nice and neat and get the colour payoff nice and even, not applying it thickly at all. You never want to apply your gel polish thick because it may not cure all the way if that's what you're doing. So you do want to make sure that you're applying it in a nice thin layer so that you can layer it up basically to get the colour payoff, but you will make it's better for it to cure on a thin layer than a thick layer, and you're less likely to get wrinkles and stuff like that. So always better to apply thinner layers than it is to apply thick layers. And the consistency of the Model 1's gel polish are thinner anyway, so they're not overly thick, these ones. I've noticed they're a thinner consistency than some of the other gel polishes that I own. So if needed, I will tidy up with a clean-up brush and some acetone or some rubbing alcohol. If any gets on the skin, get it off before you cure it. I'm just trying to tidy up that end of that shape. I don't know what kind of shape you would call it. It's a swoosh, I don't know. So yeah, if any gets on the skin, get it off before you cure it. And then I'll put my second coat of the blue on the ring finger. Again, keeping that layer nice and thin but even. You want good colour payoff. You want it to be opaque. If it's not opaque on the second coat, then you can go in with a third coat. It's better to do that than do a thick layer, like I said. So, but this was fine. Two layers was fine for opaque coverage. And again, using my detailer brush to get that cuticle area and sidewall area nice and neat. And then back to the little finger, add my second layer of the rose gold. I love this rose gold gel polish. It's so pretty. I think it goes really well with the blue. I don't know, it works. It's just a bit of, so yeah, orange and blue kind of work. They're a good colour combination actually. I've been orange and purple, orange and blue, it just works. So the rose gold is sort of on the orangey side and the blue is blue. It's more on the purpley side, a little bit on the purpley side. So yeah, this colour combo I really like. And I noticed that the Samsung Galaxy phone is this colour combination. It's bizarre, but yeah, I didn't plan on that. I only saw the phone after I had done these nails, and I thought, oh, they would match that Samsung Galaxy phone. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Happy accident. It's a good colour combo. Great minds think alike, eh? Anywho, I'm now going to encapsulate all of the nails in some clear acrylic. I personally don't remove the tacky layer from the gel polish because I know once I cure it, cure the top coat, whatever tacky layer was there will be cured at that same time. The tacky layer is only apparent where there is air in contact with it. So by encapsulating it, you are removing the air, so therefore when you cure it there will be no tacky layer left, and some of the tacky layer will get brushed off with your brush and monomer. So make sure that you are really wiping your brush really well before you go back into your monomer, so you're not transferring it. If you're concerned about that, then do remove the tacky layer before you start encapsulating. So yeah, just be aware of that. Any tacky layer is technically uncured product, so you don't want to get that on the skin. All right, just bear that in mind. So because I have only added the thin clear base, the gel polish nails are very thin, so that allows me to add quite a bit of clear acrylic to build the structure of the nail. The milk bath nail is a little bit thicker than they are, but not by much really. I kept that nice and thin as well, so again I've got a good margin to add my clear acrylic so that I know I'm not going to file into any of those bits. So we want to totally encapsulate everything, and you want to add your shape, your structure, swipe the sides of the nail, try and keep the shape so you don't lose it too much. Tuck that clear acrylic around back the behind the bits that you're encapsulating, sort of tuck the clear acrylic behind it in the cuticle area, totally encase it all. If any of the bits are sparkling at you after you finish capping in clear, then you've not added enough, because everything should look dull after you have capped it, and it shouldn't look shiny again until you top coat. So that's how you know whether you've added enough clear acrylic over the top or not. Check that now from all different angles. Make sure you've got enough acrylic everywhere, that there are no dips or big lumps or anything like that. Try and do as much as you can with your brush to keep the shape of the nail that you are going for, and also try not to add too much acrylic, but then try not to also add not enough, because either way is a problem. So yeah, although if you add too much, it is fairly easy to file back, you know, and debulk. It just takes a little bit more time. So the more you can do with the brush, the less you will have to do with the filing, of course. So I'm going to continue capping the rest of the nails, and whilst you're watching me do that, because I've pretty much explained it all already, let's have a chat. How are you doing? What have you been up to? I know I ask this every time, but you know, I don't do much. I'm at home because I'm disabled. I don't get out a lot. So yeah, I like to hear what everyone else is doing. I'm nosy, okay? Have a chat with me in the comments. Let me know what you've been doing. How are you finding your nails? You know, are you improving? Have any of the tips and tricks that I share with you, is any of it helping you? It's nice to know if I am helping you in some way, because that's the whole point of these videos. So if I'm not helping you, do please let me know. If there's anything that you would like me to expand on and share with you guys, then do let me know. I'm trying to share as much as I can, but you know, the videos do get repetitive, because you know, pretty much doing the same thing over and over. I don't want to bore you guys with, you know, keep repeating myself, but if it's helping, then I will continue. So do please let me know in the comments. I'll just carry on, almost finished capping that little finger. Now you can see I've got a bit of a lump on the ring finger there, where the acrylic started to set up on me, and it left a bit of a lump. Don't worry about that. Once I start filing, you won't see that lump anymore. Don't worry. It's not the end of the world if your capping doesn't go exactly neat and tidy as you would like it to have gone. It's not the end of the world. Don't rely on your file, but then again, of course, if things do go wrong, don't stress about it. It can always be fixed. It's only nails, and you'll just take a little bit more time to just sort it out. It won't take much more time, to be honest. So once I've finished capping, I will give the nails, all of them, a good once over, make sure that they are all even and they all look similar, and then I let it set up, put away all my bits and bobs, and now it's time to file for my Frosty filing freaks. So here we go. On this occasion, the filing routine I'm going with is to file the side walls first. So I'm actually only filing one side of the nails. My hands were killing me this day and my thumb kept cramping really badly. So yeah, I decided to do one side of the nail at a time. As you will see, go from index finger to little finger doing just the right side of the nail. Then I will do the left side of the nail, and then make sure it is even both sides. So again, so I go under the under arch and then rotate up and do the side walls, making sure it's nice and straight and coming out straight, so I'm not got a wonky nail. I stop and look often. A filing routine is, so you can see I keep stopping because my thumb kept cramping. A filing routine is very, very important if you want your nails to consistently have a good shape. It's really important to get yourself a filing routine. It doesn't matter how your routine is, it just matters that you do the same thing on each finger. So you see, I started on doing one side of the nails, I do all of the nails. Then I started doing the other side of the nails, and then I do all of the nails. Now I'm doing the free edge. I've switched to a less harsh of a grit I file, I think. Yeah, I did. I started using the 150. So I started off with the 80-100. I started off filing the side walls with that. Then I switched to a 150 grit to file the very free edge. Then I'll put those down once I've squared off the free edge, and I will sort out the cuticle area. So I'm just using my e-file to do that. It's easier to do it with the e-file, whether it's on a practice hand or on a normal hand. I like to do it with the e-file, but you can do it with the hand file as well. That's most certainly possible. So choice is yours. My hands were hurting, so I'm going to try and do as much as I can with the e-file to avoid having to do too much. Now this nail was a little bit bulky, so I'm just going to debulk using a fine carbide 5-in-1 bit. It just eats through the acrylic a lot faster than just a sanding band would, so that's why I'm using that bit at the moment. Got a little bit too much acrylic there, so just need to take down some of that bulk. See, the apex is just a little bit too high for this length of nail, and I don't want the nails to look really bulky, so yeah, just bringing down some of that extra acrylic that we don't really need, because for this length of nail, the apex doesn't need to be so high for the nails to be strong. Just need a decent apex, but not a massive one. So again, debulking, and the reason why I've gone back to that nail is because I'm looking at it against the other nails, because what you want is consistency. You want a uniform set. Each nail is an individual, yes, but it's part of a set, so it needs to match and follow the shape of the other nails that are next to it. So do pay attention and stop and look often, not just at the nail on your nail that you're working on, but also you need to look at all the other nails as a group, as it were. So once I've finished debulking, I will use my sanding band, which I love to pieces. Sanding band is so good. It does the same thing a hand file will do, in that it will smooth and even out the surface for you. So those lines that I filed on the side walls, we want to blend those in so that they're rounded off. You don't want that harsh sharp angle on the side walls. You want to blend it in so that the nail is curved from side wall to side wall. Blend it in with the sanding band. You can do this same thing with your hand file if you don't have problems with your hands like I do. Go ahead, use your hand file to do it. It's the same process. You just use a hand file to do it. But sanding band, I love my sanding bands. They're just magic. They're just magic. Never have your sanding band any higher than, I would say, 10. I find that sanding bands will heat up a lot quicker than a ceramic or carbide bit do. So yeah, I never have a sanding band on high. I've probably got it on 6 or 7 at this point. So yeah, you do not need the sanding bands to be on a high speed, and the higher the speed, the more likely it is for you to get a heat spike with them, and you don't want to do that because it's rather uncomfortable. So I've switched to a very fine file. This is a 240 grit, and I'm just smoothing out those underarch and the sidewalls just a little bit more, just to give it a nice sharp shape. And then I'll quickly buff over the surface. I didn't really need to buff the surface, to be honest. I could have just left it with just the sanding band, but I wanted to make it a bit more smooth. So I'll just whiz over with my sanding band again. No, not sanding band, with my buffing file, with a routine with that as well. Up one side, around the cuticle area, down the other side, then do the body of the nail. Always have a routine and do the same thing on each finger so that your nails all match. Nearly finished, just a bit more buffing to do with me being a fuss pot. I always go underneath the nails, and that's because you get these little frills underneath, and they are very annoying and it will make you pick. I can't stand anything underneath my nails, so I will always clean out the underneath, make sure that none of the frills are underneath there, and that way you know your client is not going to be picking anything, and it's just nice to have a neat application. Oh, I noticed something on the sidewall there, so I'm going to sort that out. And that's when I stop and I look at all of the nails and I make sure that they are as perfect as I can get them before I put all my stuff away. So I've removed all the dust. Handolly's had a wash. After you've washed with soap and water, you do want to use a lint-free wipe and either use some acetone or some rubbing alcohol and wipe over the nails, because soap contains moisturizers, which is oil, and you don't want that on the nails before you top coat. So do make sure you cleanse the nail to make sure any oils have been removed before you top coat. And now I'm going to go on with my design. So it's a very simple basic flower design I'm doing on the in ring finger. I forgot what finger it was then. So yeah, very simple, very easy. The brush is doing all of the work for the design. It's all about the pressure you add to get that petal shape. So you see I push a bit more firmly to get it to splay out and to get that little petal shape, and then as I pull down with the brush, I am lifting the pressure to get it to taper. The brush does all the work. That is a really simple design for anyone to do, and you've noticed I've not been overly neat with it. I've not worried about it being completely opaque or anything, because I'm adding also some of the rose gold over the top. So I've kind of got a two-toned kind of like an outline of the white with the rose gold over the top, and also it makes the rose gold stand out a little bit more against the blue. If I'd have done the rose gold straight over the blue, I don't think it would have stood out quite as much. So yeah, I do prefer it to do it over the white. It just makes that rose gold pop that little bit more. So I will cure each layer fully, and I'm doing I didn't do 2 layers of the white, only one. Wasn't necessary to do 2 layers of the white, but I am doing 2 layers of the rose gold to make sure it is really nice and opaque, because it's such a pretty colour, that rose gold. Oh, it's so glittery and shimmery. It's beautiful. So nearly finished with that. Fully cure that for 60 seconds, and now it's time to bling it, baby. I'm actually not adding that many crystals, so don't get too excited. I'm only adding a few little crystals on this one. So I'm going to use the SPD London Diamond Gel, add some crystals to be the centre of the flowers, but then I thought it needed just a little bit more, so I am going to add a few more crystals, you'll see. So I add those, get them where I want them, and kind of look at the nail what do I think? And I thought, you know what, I think I should add a couple more crystals here and there just to finish it off. It looked a bit bare to me. You know what I'm like, I'm always OTT. And then I still thought it needed a little bit more to add another one. Why not? And now I'm finished. So there we go. Now flash cure those in place. And now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. So top coat time. Best part, we'll see all that rose gold come to life. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, love it. I can't remember why I did that. There was something I was getting rid of. Or I can't remember why I did that, to be honest. And I think there was a piece of fluff, but I don't know why I wiped off the edge of the other ones. I can't remember. Anyway, I was removing something from them. And then we can top coat. So as you can see, there's the milk bath now. I think this came out really nice actually. But it also means we are at the end of the video. There is some video footage and some photos of the finished set at the end. But whilst I'm top coating, oh, let me mention before I go, I top coat around crystals, never over the top. If you top coat over them, you will lose the facets, and the facets is what makes it sparkle and shine. So always go around them. Use a detailer brush if you can't use the brush from the bottle to get around them properly. Yep. Just make sure you go around them, never over them. And by going around them with the top coat, you are helping to secure them in place, because it kind of acts like a shrink wrap around them to also enable to hold them nice and secure so that you don't lose any of your crystals. And yeah, it just helps to keep them in place. Definitely worth doing. And now I will say thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, watching this video, spending some of your most precious time with me. Thank you. I appreciate you ever so much. I didn't do any uploads last week, and I kind of missed you guys, so yeah. Anyway, this is the finished design. So if you have not done so already, I hope you like it, by the way. If you've not done so already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Join the Frosty Fam. I'd love to have you. If you've enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, please go ahead and click that like button. It takes but a second for you to do, but it's really helpful to my channel. And if you feel like it, you are more than welcome to leave me a comment. I'm happy to talk to you. Sorry I was a bit all over the place at the end there, but you know, it is what it is. That's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Bye for now.
It's just not that I don't listen. It's just the way you're coming so close to me. It's just not that I don't feel the tension. It's just the way I want you to come closer. Someday soon I'm gonna make it. Yeah, all hard work's gonna be worth it. Ooh.